Hi, everybody. I'm Carl Dye from TRIDEC. Thank you for joining us today for our latest Stories of Development. Today, we're talking about the business of tourism. We're joined by our panel here for a great discussion about how does tourism impact our local economy? What does the business of it look like? And so I appreciate everybody being here for, I think, a really good discussion along with our panelists. I'll go down and I'm going to start on my right, your left, and make introductions. So Tiffany Stetson is the general manager for direct consumer sales for Goosery Estates. Morning, Tiffany.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You bet. I was just gonna say like our own, but I think it's just because we're in the neighborhood, right?
We share
Our own. Corey Pearson's the executive director of Three Rivers Convention Center, Toyota Center, and Toyota Arena. Corey, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Source, thanks for making the video.
Yeah.
Amber Strunk is the education and outreach lead for LIGO. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Charles Danon is the general manager for the lodge at Columbia Point. Good morning, Charles.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Last but not least is our building partner, Kevin Lewis. He's the CEO of Visit Tri-Cities. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Carl, and glad to have this group with me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for putting it together. I just kind of like last year for Ironman, I think all I have to do is say here.
We're gonna make you play more of a little stuff.
So to get us started, I think to that point, I think Kevin's got some slides to get us rolling, and as we go through it, I think there'll be a chance for each of our panelists to have some input on your industry sector that you're representing, and then I've got some questions. We'll open for questions, and of course, we'll take questions from the online webinar audience as well. So, Kevin, why don't you take it away?
Kick it off. Yeah. Well, it's really good to be here. I appreciate everybody coming. Today, I think really, if I had a goal, it would be to try to peel the layers back on tourism a little bit. We talk about tourism on a surface level, hospitality and visitation and all of that, but we've got some people who could get us a little deeper into that discussion. And so that's the goal today, is peel it back and really see the impact that tourism has in our economy and in our community from all of the different layers. If you look at the basics, let's just go back to what Visit Tri-Cities is. We are a 501c6 organization, and our role is to market and promote the destination. Our mission to fuel transformational growth in the Tri-Cities through tourism, and that's a significant goal. I kind of like to say tourism is not only the spark of economic development, but it's also the piston, one of the main pistons that keeps that engine running and keeps it moving. So every economic development project typically starts with a visit. And we like to say, if you build a destination that people want to visit, you'll build a destination where people want to live. They want to live here, they work here, they invest here, and that cycle goes around and around and around. So just some of the numbers really quickly. $643 million come into our community every year from visitors. That's 1.7 million a day. And so when you think about that influx of money coming from outside into our community every single day, $1.7 million is returning, that keeps everything moving again. That's where I say the spark and the piston. It just keeps that energy and vitality moving. There are about 5,900 direct jobs in the hospitality space. I moved up here 4 years ago. I was at a economic summit, and I think it was Stephen Ashby at the time stood up and said, PNNL has 6,000 jobs in the community, and I realized, at some point, hospitality has almost the exact same amount of jobs as PNNL. So you think, Tiffany, brought this up. You think if there was an impact that was really detrimental to PNNL, we would all be going, whoa, right? We should have that same consideration to hospitality. It's the same kind of impact with those 6,000 people that are working here. Their livelihoods, they're raising their families, and those jobs filter into a whole bunch of other jobs. These are just direct hospitality jobs. We'll talk more about those other jobs too. 8,500 total jobs in the community where people are making their livelihood and creating the kind of livelihood that we want to have here. Overall, it's about $1.1 billion in business sales in the community from tourism. So that's kind of an overarching look at it. our office, again, fueling growth through conventions, sports, meetings and events. We do a bunch of marketing and advertising, mostly outside of the area, again, because we're trying to bring people into the destination. We have social media platforms. We bring journalists and influencers into the community to experience the things that we have here, and then they go out and write about it, visitor services and all of that, and our website. But I think now if we want to take that a little bit deeper, there's a really cool project going on just right across the street here that is going to have some significant impact, and it's our convention center expansion. And Corey's here to kind of talk about it. Corey, I've got this video teed up that we can talk over, you know, the convention center while that's playing, and there's no sound or anything, but it's pretty cool when you look at what's going on in there. So you want to take it over and just talk about the expansion a bit?
Yeah, it's starting to get real. I'm sure a lot of you, as you drove in this morning, got to go past it. Our sign went up earlier last week, so that made it real. I think we had more comments about the sign going up than anything else that we've done. But to put it in perspective, the current convention center is 80,000 square feet. We're adding another 122,000 square feet. So it's a big, big building. Our great hall that you go into right now is just over 20,000 square feet. And this hall right here that you're walking into, this is 60,000 square feet. So it's a big column-free facility that we're going to be able to compete with a lot of events throughout the Pacific Northwest for those things to come in here. So we're the quiet little building sitting, off of any major thoroughfare. So a lot of people don't see what we do, but I know a lot of you do just because you live here with us and share a parking lot. And, there's a lot of times during the year that we bring more white pickups to town than I think any event ever. So I don't know how they find them at the end of the night. It's like Disneyland. So yeah, we're getting ready to open. So our first event will be December 4th, which is the Bikes for Tykes. It's kind of how we're kicking it off. So it's getting very real. We're just coming off of a 6-week shutdown for the existing facility, where we did carpet, paint. We have a lot of things that we're getting done. We're still not done. We'll be working on the existing building through next summer. But we'll be working in the pockets that we have. We're not displacing anything, but it's very exciting. We've been doing a ton of tours. I know Visit's been doing a ton of tours with groups coming in, and it's a game changer for this community. And as a great mentor of mine said years ago when I started this business, it's, we are here to lose money so others can make money. That's kind of how we work. We're working to bring a lot of folks to town, and we don't want to lock them into our 4 walls for 5 days. We want them to get out and experience our community just like we get to. But so yeah, it's an exciting time, and it's kind of surreal that it's coming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's been a long time coming.
Long time coming. So yeah, we started on this in 2012. Mr. Patel and I sat down, and it came back. Our feasibility study said we needed a hotel first. So back in 2012, we started on a hotel, which opened in 15. Really felt the impact in 17. We doubled our attendance with a new convention center attached hotel. And with this expansion, we expect to do the same thing, double what we do. So just keep moving along.
I think you've probably seen the figures out there, but what is it, a $70 million?
71.3 million. So yeah.
So, when you talk about tourism's impact, just bring that revenue into that equation, right? And all the jobs. I think I was in a meeting the other day. Lawrence was saying there's 85 people on site right now.
Yep.
That are construction workers and professionals. Those are here because of the tourism engine, which makes it really significant. I think sometimes we forget about those ancillary jobs that happen in tourism. You're a hotel operator.
Yep.
How many staff do you have?
Well, give or take, about 70 staff members that work with us year round. But then, of course, we have more suppliers. We reach out to the community because we need help with AC, maintenance, cleaning, suppliers, of course, from food and beverage. People that come here and want to go on a tour. So we have somebody pick them up, take them to the winery. So it's, I would say just the lodge itself is probably good 120 good jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's finance, it's marketing, it's, legal, all of those layers and layers of economic impact they're having as a result of the tourism products. The other component I think that tourism brings is the community pride component. So because of the events and the attractions that we have, it brings a lot of pride into the community that you live in. You get to celebrate those things, and that creates it's an ecosystem, right? We're supporting the vitality of the community through the activities and events that happen. We'll talk some more about those today, Carl. There's just such a cyclical effect of all of this coming together. You want to go down next phase to we could talk hotels, because I think this is a big another big component, and we see a lot of stuff going on right now. These are 3 new projects that are just happening. BJ could come and talk about one of them, but talk on the hotel side, Charles. There's the AC Marriott happening over here at the convention center. I think I saw that's a $47 million.
So $52 million.
$52 million project with that hotel. There's the Holiday Inn Express that's being built right over here. That's the one you see the frame picture. It's a lot further done than that picture. And then BJ just opened up another Home2 Suites by the airport a month or so ago. So 3 major hotel projects. How does that impact the economics? And you've got an existing property. How does that impact you?
Well, looking at what we do during the summer, I can tell that, especially during the weekends, we need more hotels. We are sold out every single weekend. Now, of course, with the convention center expanding, we hope that more groups will be coming to the Tri-City areas. And one thing I wanted to talk about later was that something that we noticed this year is that there was not as much group business at the beginning of the year as there was last year. It almost looked like it flipped. So this maybe makes sense because you guys were closed for a while. So we have a lot more group business coming in the 3rd and the 4th quarter. Yes, there's more competition, but I'm not afraid of it, because what it does to us is that we have to make sure that we provide the best experience that we can give to guests coming in. Tri-Cities is growing. More groups are coming in. That means there will be more hotels. So will it impact us? Probably, but I think it's positive development.
One thing I was thinking of too is just sort of the economics of a single hotel. So your property has 100 and how many rooms?
Now we have 80 rooms.
You have 80 rooms in your property. I think the AC Marriott's going to have 162 rooms, almost twice as big as your property there. But an average hotel is 100 rooms. So you fill that up, or what's an average occupancy?
During the summer, we're running mid-80s to low 90s. Even during the slow season, we're still looking at high 60s to low 70s when it comes to occupancy percentage, which for our hotel is great. It makes my call with ownership a lot easier every single month. So thanks very much for everybody that is getting more people to the Tri-City areas. But I'm used to 2-3 hour calls with ownership, and it wasn't always pretty and very different this time. So I want to keep it up.
Yeah. So every hotel, 150 to 200 guests a night. Each of those guests is going to spend $100 a piece while they're here. They're going to stay an average of roughly 2 nights. So if you start doing the math on that, and you start to see the economics of it, you're bringing all that new revenue in every single night. I was trying to figure that out, and who's a mathematician can do that for me? I think I wrote it down here somewhere. I had it, but it seemed like it's like 50 million a month per hotel, which ends up being, maybe I got that wrong. Somebody do my math for me. Anyway, it's a lot.
I'd have to take my shoes off, and I'm not doing
Yeah.
it.
It also impacts the airport.
Sorry.
5,000.
50,000.
I thought we saved 2 days. Yeah.
I think it was 50,000 a month per night visitor spending. So yeah, $1 million plus every year or every month. So 50,000 a night, $1 million a month, and about 15 million a year. That's what I wrote down. It's for each hotel. So we're just bringing three hotels in. You can see the generation of that.
of course, the trickle down effect, like more business for local transportation companies, the airport, of course. I was surprised to see how many people fly in and out of Pasco every single year, and it's only going to go up. So
Yeah.
definitely a positive development.
Yeah, record-breaking visitation at the Pasco Airport for the last 3 years. Every year it's broken our record. All right, moving on. Should we talk STEM, Amber?
Sure.
Tell us about the STEM environment.
Yeah, so what you're looking at there is Lexi, the LIGO Exploration Center. That's our newer center, right? It was opened in 2022, but we just put in brand new exhibits this year in January of this year. All of that was funded through the state. We're the only hands-on science center within 2 hours of the Tri-Cities, right? So we're free, which means that visitors aren't spending any money with us, but we do bring a lot of visitors in just to see us. Of the 3 gravitational wave facilities in the entire world, we are the only one that allows drop-in visitors every week. So people can come here and see something that they can't at any of the other ones around the world. Being a Nobel Prize winning facility means we draw a lot of people interested in STEM, but they don't usually just come and stay with us. They do come, they see us, they stay the night, they go to the Reach, they go to other museums, they go to the wineries. We had a group of retired women engineers who came by one time, and their whole point was that they came to see us and then went to the wineries for the weekend. And I'm like, all right, like, life goals right there. So that's the kind of thing that we're seeing happening is people come to us and then do other things. But I think the bigger thing about a place like the Lexi is that we are providing something for all of the people who live here as well. The vast majority of people who come to see us are K-12 students. We see about 5,000 K-12 students a year. And what that means is when we want to bring people into work here at PNNL, at LIGO, at every one of your businesses, they see a whole ecosystem that wants them to move here and work here. And then we bring visitors in as well, right? So it's kind of like what you keep saying, it's this cycle. It's not just that we bring visitors. We bring visitors and we're a really good add to the community in a way that we wouldn't have otherwise. And that's true of all of the facilities, the B reactor, the Reach. Every one of our STEM facilities does this.
How many of you know what LIGO is? How many of you have been out? Stuff, yeah. You want to give us a thing?
For those who don't know us, we are the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. And in short, what we do is study gravitational waves predicted by Einstein in 1915, found by us in 2015 for the first time, which resulted in a Nobel Prize. And these things come from black holes colliding in space. So we're doing this very unique thing. Like I said, there's 3 facilities in the entire world, 2 of which are LIGOs, one us here and one in Livingston, Louisiana, and then one outside of Pisa, Italy. So we're a very unique thing in the region.
Yeah. What I say they do is they blow my mind. These are very, very smart people who every time I talk to them, I just get energized by the what they're doing. And then I can't go explain it. I try really hard and I can't quite do it.
That's when we tell everybody to come up for tours.
Yeah.
This summer, we see a big rise in the number of people coming from Seattle. So while we get lots of tours from all over, we've had people fly from Japan to come here to see us. And so those are the kind of things that we see happening on a regular basis. We had a father and a son last summer drive through on their way to college, completely out of their way to see us because their son wanted to see us. And so those are the kind of things we're seeing coming to LIGO because of its uniqueness.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we've discovered too is in this STEM space and the history and science category, the numbers may not be as significant as maybe our convention and event category, but the economic impact of those people is a lot higher per person. They're educated, they're wealthy, that's the kind of people that are coming out to see you.
Usually the ones who are coming from afar, that's absolutely.
Yeah.
I joke about being a nerd tourist myself. And I will fly somewhere very specific to see something that's historic that nobody else would want to see necessarily. The Niels Bohr Institute, I was a kid in a candy store. That's not something that gets a lot of people excited, right? But that's the type of people we get coming, somebody who's very, very passionate. And so it may not be huge numbers, but they do tend to spend money while they're here. They do want to find really nice restaurants and wineries and things like that.
Just have some really interesting and non-conventional type attractions here. You know, we're not a destination of, you know, big canyons and red rocks and those kinds of things, but we're a destination that's got those really intriguing attractions and experiences you can have that you really can't get anywhere else.
The amount of STEM here is really surprising. The mammoth digs, the geology, the physics, the biology, the agriculture, all of that STEM tourism And you get people who are interested in all aspects of it. That's a pretty cool thing.
I think the fact that we just have a facility like that out here too, again, drilling into the economics of tourism, can't even imagine the dollars that are running through that facility, right?
Yeah. It's actually funny enough, what I'll say is it's lower than what you think, but it is. So LIGO itself runs off about $50 million a year, but that's 2 facilities. We have 50 staff members, but the broad reach of that, we hire a lot of local contractors, a lot of local machinists and things like that to make everything that we do work. And so it is a broader impact, even though it seemed like a small thing at first.
Yeah. Let's move into wine. Tiffany, what do you got to tell us about the wine industry?
I think I'd start off by saying there's been a lot of kind of negative noise surrounding the wine industry lately, or sad noise. And I want to share there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's a lot of great things that are happening. At Goose Ridge ourselves, we continue to grow. If you're not familiar with us, not only are we a winery, but we are a cidery and we are a distillery as well. And I think what is really unique about the wine industry is there's not necessarily another industry like us. So what I mean by that is when we go to look for best practices, I think, okay, well, let's look at like the restaurant industry, right? Because we can look at kind of service through that. Many of us have restaurants and have food at them now, but we also are agricultural, and agritourism is a huge area of growth right now. We have production, we have hospitality in general. If you're looking at like our service, we have retail spaces. Many of us sell more than just wine. And so I think it encompasses so much more than the wine itself. We just opened a large event center in Benton City. And when I started in the wine industry, it truly was people came in, they did tastings, we welcomed them, they purchased wine. They became members, and that was kind of the model. And now we serve as community centers. We host celebrations of life. We host weddings, school reunions, you name it. We just booked a 1-year-old's birthday party. I'm not sure who that's really for, but that's the other thing is, you know, people think of us as a 21 and over, which of course we are. I'm not saying anything about the alcohol side of it, but we're family friendly. We're a family owned business ourselves. And so we welcome families out. You can see that in many of the other alcohol areas, included breweries. If you've ever gone up to Wheathead on a weekend, there's kids running around everywhere. So we're family friendly as well. So we can invite a large demographic or varying demographic, including people who don't drink. And I know that may sound odd, but because we have live music, we host farmers markets, there's many reasons to come and see. It may just be that you're interested in the agritourism side. Besides our wine grapes, we have tree fruit, so cherries, apples, peaches. We have a wheated bourbon and a rye as well. So you name it, there's something for everyone.
Yeah. What do you think it means to a destination to have something like a wine moniker? As you know, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's really cool. I will give you a little context too. So as you stated in the beginning, he mentioned how tourism brings people, they start to know the area, and then they move here. And I am probably a perfect example of that. So I just moved to the Tri-Cities. I've lived in Western Washington most of my life, and have been in Woodinville for the last 25 years, which is considered a wine destination. And it is a wine destination, but I will get phone calls there and they will say, I would love a view of the vineyards. And I was like, I can provide you a view of a parking lot. And so to be able to invite a group out where they can be in the heart of our industry is so special. And I think to be able to share that story is a huge win for the Tri-Cities. And you guys all sucked me in. Yeah. So, and I'm here to stay.
Good. Carl, that's sort of the skim overview. We're gonna talk about Ironman at some point, but I wonder if you want to circle back on anything or.
So I wrote down some notes.
Yeah.
Take notes. And I wonder for Corey, like, you gave kind of the walkthrough with the 3D rendering of the facility, but in the Great Hall, I think you described it out, like, where I know you're gonna have indoor basketball, volleyball, indoor sports, but are there other big venues that need that size of space, like more of the convention side that you're gonna be targeting now that we can look forward to, you know, maybe more white pickups or.
Right.
Like, how does that huge facility kind of factor into your plans for?
Well, the interesting thing is between Visit and ourselves, we're marketing this new space a lot.
Yeah.
Well, we are getting a lot of organic interest out of this as well. So we may have the Tree Fruit Association. Well, one of the exhibitors is also part of another group where they're coming in. And the thing that we're finding that's selling our community is the community. One of my favorite examples are about 2 months ago, we had a group come in. They called a couple days ahead of time, said, can we come in? Can we get a tour of your facility? And they need 60,000 square feet, which perfect. It fits. And we had them in and they came in the morning and his first comment was, there's 3 of them, it's like, we tested you last night. Like, okay, what did we do? You know, what happened? And he's like, no, we came in, all 3 of us stayed at 3 different hotels. We all put bags and boxes in our back seats, and when we got up this morning, they were still there. It was like, okay. So it was like, that was our test. It had nothing to do with. But you know, that's the kind of stuff that we're gonna start to see. It's a lot of, and that was, I think, the Northwest Food Processors. And
Okay.
they've been in between Portland since 2000. They took a little break, went to Spokane, but there's a lot of things. The other part that we're seeing is, you know, we have free parking. And when they go into some of these other buildings, you'll have 5 to 7 unions to deal with. You know, none, you know, and so we're able to do what everybody needs. And so we're seeing a big influx of the ag, you know, and that's where we're gonna see our big competitive advantage there, and we're gonna be able to really hang on to that. So, and it's.
Well, I've heard kind of the vision before, but can you talk a little bit about the sports, like the indoor sports that we haven't been able to compete against before that you guys are really targeting?
Right.
With that, and overall, whether it's an ag, those or conventions or sports, I just get excited with it. Exactly. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we all grew up. See, my kids played sports, so I did every weekend driving to Spokane, driving to Seattle. So now we're going to be able to have a lot of that here. So we are seeing a lot of interest once we get this thing up. So that's the whole thing. Everybody wants to see the doors open before they'll commit. They want to see the hotel open before they'll commit. So I know some of them are going to be a ways out, but the booking windows, the only good thing we've seen since COVID is the booking windows have shortened. So that's going to help us. But the interest that we're seeing out of sports with Hector, we've already thrown our hat in the ring a few times for different events. We haven't been successful yet, but we're getting them here. We're getting them on the tour. We're going to get on the rotation. So we're looking at everything from the esports. So we're putting a backbone in that building that we're going to be able to do all the esports, because that's a niche. We just had some of our staff go to one of the conventions and we were the only ones there from Washington, which was great.
Wow.
So there's a lot of things that we're going to be opening doors to that we don't even know right now. So that's exciting. Yeah, it's super
I
exciting.
talked to our sales associates that are out working with their groups, and one of the things that's opened up is we've always been sort of a regional type of a hub. And now that we've got the space, they're now having conversations to bring in sort of, you know, those expanded groups, those bigger conventions that they didn't even consider us for. So now can we sell the market to the bigger group as well? I think you're going to see that. I will throw a plug in too. The very, very first contract signed for that event, or for the new space, was for the World Horseshoe Pitching Championship, which will come in the summer of 27. Well, it's not going to be the first group in there, but it was the first contract signed to have that in there. We held that in 2024, and we had to use the Toyota Center and the Toyota Arena both buildings to facilitate it. Now we can take all of that and put it in the new convention space. The group that's coming is going to love it because they don't have to go back and forth between arenas to get to their stuff. It was kind of built for that.
Totally.
The way it's laid out works really, really well for their events. We're excited about that one next summer.
I also want to bring up, because I think it's interesting, and it's on subject with the economic impact of tourism, but just like on the convention center model, City of Kennewick and the it's based on the name of the district.
PFD?
Yeah,
they can be PFD.
Because I serve on a board with the county, so the county has funds that's 0.09% of all the sales tax collected. Locally, it goes back to Benton County or Franklin County on both sides of the river. Corey and the city did a great job of proposing to that fund to use those ongoing sales tax funds over time to pay off a bond, which I think was part of the financing. We're working on some other projects, sales tax related, separate from lodging tax and the other piece, the assessments that hoteliers choose to do. But as sales tax goes up, the county accumulates those funds and opens up doors for these projects that then fuels the visitors and everything else. But the visitors that come here not only for vacations but also to do big construction projects. Like, and Kevin, at your board meeting last couple of weeks ago, I think it was interesting. Some of the hoteliers said, like, yeah, when Energy Northwest has the outage, which they have to do every 2 years to fuel, there's a huge influx for like 3 months of hoteliers, and so that's sales tax, spend tax, and so I think that's a really good example I just wanted to bring up to show how kind of these base industries, these cores, these historic industries like the nuclear industry, like the manufacturing, like the agriculture industry, through these events and the tax revenue then keep back into what we're talking about today. So I just wanted to bring that up. It really talks about that circular nation, how all of our businesses and economy here locally work together.
And we're really lucky as an economy that we have the diversity that we do. The tourism is supported by the big industries. The big industries are supported by tourism. The workforce that's here, if we didn't have the tourism recreation activities, they wouldn't want to be here. We're really, really important to have that diverse industry and economy, and we've got it here, which makes it possible to continue to grow like that. And just put a number on it. I think it's about 80 million in taxes that come in as a result of the visitor spend each year. So that goes back into other services as well.
And one thing I just like to point out is the convention center has been open since 2004, and there's never been a new tax imposed for that building. And even with the $71 million expansion, there are no new taxes. They're all from the rebate that we get back from the state as part of the PFDs when they were organized. So everything that's happening there is all being done locally without it being an impact on the community. We get the benefit, so it's great.
Anything else?
That's it.
Want to move on?
Yep.
Let's talk Ironman. I think so. We're in our third year of a 3-year contract. The biggest question I get is, are we going to do it? Continue to do it? Yes, we are, and we're in the negotiations. I won't even say it's negotiations. It's just contract. It's in legal right now. So yeah, all of you'll see in the stuff we talk about, all of the feedback that we're getting about our event and everything is just so positive. Ironman wants to be here, and we're just navigating the details of dotting the I's and crossing the T's right now. So hopefully coming up with an announcement for that right now. But I think one of the things I like to, what I love about this event is it gives us a way, it's a platform to showcase all of the great things that happen in our community. People get off of the highway, they get down on the riverfront, they see all of the great things that are going on, and they interact with our people here. So this year's race, September 20th, 2026, coming up in about 5 weeks now. So pretty good timing to talk about it. This is the impact of that event. Every year it brings about $6 to $7 million in just in itself. About 7,500 visitors from 45 states and 20 countries come in, and they love it here. The results, the feedback that we've seen, the surge of positive media that we've had as a result of the event is about 161% increase in positive media since we brought that event in. And it's because of the type of athletes that are here, the global event that it is, and the way they talk and share their experiences. They're pretty A-type personalities, and they like to talk about the accomplishments they've done, and they're phenomenal. The race itself, because of our community support, because of everybody that's come in on and embrace this event, athletes do a post-race survey, and they rate each of the different aspects of the race. Our run course last year was the highest rated run course in the world. 114 Ironman 70.3 events across the globe in some pretty amazing destinations. And our run course was the highest rated course. Why is that? Well, one, we've got this beautiful riverfront, just a great area to have a run. It goes from Columbia Point up to WSU Tri-Cities and back. That's great, but you can go around the world. You can find a lot of places that have some pretty neat riverfronts. But what makes a difference here, I really believe, is the people, the support that we get from our community when they're doing the event. As the athletes come to town, and as you said, they scope us out, right? They're checking us out. And what they're getting is this positive reception from everybody in our community. Everybody's embracing the event. And along that run, they're cheering them all the way up and down. Now you get to deal with those athletes perfectly, like one-on-one in your hotel. Can you talk about that a little bit, what they're experiencing and what they're sharing with you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think that the Tri-Cities needs a Ironman-like event every single month. But I think it was my second or third month at the Lodge Columbia Points when I experienced Ironman and I interacted with the guests. I actually remember getting up early at 4 o'clock in the lobby, handing out coffee and snacks and things like that. And I was just amazed by how enthusiastic everybody was. And you think as you go, like, these are people in their mid-20s, early 30s. Those are people my age, people even older than me, people that you go like, well, I don't really think you are an athlete, but you just did this in 4 or 5 hours. The first gentleman that crossed the line after maybe 4.5 hours, he looked like he just came off a 2-mile run. I was blown away. But I think it was just so positive to see all those people. And a lot of people actually ended up booking again for this year. So that's something we're going to do at the hotel. Like, people will be able to sign up and book their rooms for the next year, because we're sold out, obviously. I'm sure all the other hotels in the area are the same. But just telling people, like, don't wait till the end, because there's not going to be enough rooms for you. You said 2,500 people that attend. Yeah, and then of course you have parents and kids and uncles and aunts and everything. So lots and lots of people coming to the Tri-Cities area. But we just want to make sure that they have a great experience, because you have a great one overall experience. But as you said, everybody else that surrounds this event makes this such a great experience.
Yeah, the police, the fire, the EMS, all of those public safety people that are supporting it, they're energized by it. They're positive. They see Melody out here, and I if it's okay, Carl, she's not on camera, but she's got such a great story. Melody is at the Hampton on the River. The athletes love that place as well. But she told us a story. So this is so cool. Melody found out from her guests checking in, she had to find out which ones were athletes, which rooms were there, they were staying in, and hand wrote congratulation notes, put them in every athlete's room. So when they got done with the race, they received this handwritten note from the hotel. Is that, give Melody. That is customer service to a T, right? That's and we have this excellence in customer service award that we give. Maybe somebody should nominate Melody for There's so much of that goes on, and that's what I love. The enthusiasm, the energy, and then you put them in an environment like we have at Columbia Point, the river, and all of that, and it just that's why we win the awards. That's why they're ranking us the way we are, because of our people. The events showcase the destination. They allow others to see our capabilities. So they know that we can work together, because it's not easy to put on an event that runs 73 miles throughout your community. Every business that is impacted on the road has to be supportive of that, right? All of the agencies that work together, all of those things come together. And I think it just speaks so highly of our community. One thing that we started last year, so the race started in 24, we saw this swell of energy and we created a program called I Am Tri, where we offer scholarships. So with some help with some significant sponsors, and Bechtel is the presenting sponsor this year. We were able to offer scholarships to 2 local athletes who have barriers to entry for doing the event. And so we take applications in, we analyze the circumstances, a panel of people decide, pick 2 local athletes to do the event, and they get coaching, they get some gear support, they get some help through the community that way, and they cross the finish line a different person. It really is life transforming. It's such a great story. We've got a great video on our website if you want to go see it, the 2 that did it last year. We've got 2 more doing it this year, so we'll continue to do that program. That again, it just continues to establish this local pride, and we're all pulling together for each other, and that's another thing I like about the event. So new for 26 now, some community activities. Again, just trying to invite everyone. Not everybody's an Ironman triathlete, but you don't have to be to enjoy this event. You can come down on Friday night this year, September 18th at Columbia Point Marina. We've got an event called Party at the Point. Bands, local artisans, fitness, wellness activities, food. The Children's Museum's doing a kids zone. It'll be just a great time to come down to the Ironman area. You can see all the energy and feel all the vibe that's down there with 2,500 bikes lined up in the park there and everything that's going on in Ironman Village. But this is for you. This is for the local community. Come down and get acquainted with the Ironman organization, the Ironman folks, and for the Ironman to get more acquainted with our community. We just invite everybody to come be a part of that. It's free. Come on down and just enjoy that on Friday night. With that, Ironman has established a new event that we're adding on Friday night. It's called Currents to Kicks. And so this is a simple little race that they will swim the actual Ironman swim course. So they'll start at Howard Amen, swim down to Columbia Point, put on their running shoes, run back up to Howard Amen and back to Columbia Point. So a 1.2 mile swim and a 2.1 mile run. Anybody 16 and up in the community can come and be a part of that. Sign it up. It's going to be sanctioned, time chips and water safety and all of that stuff. We'll give everybody a chance to get another taste of the event without doing the whole thing. So if you've been thinking about it, get involved, get part of that. Come on down and be part of that event on Friday night. That should be a lot of fun. And then the next day is our Iron Kids race on Saturday morning. It's just a fun time. Just some great stuff to continue to keep this event alive and in the hearts of the people of our community, like our community's hearts are in the event. Here's a little video that just kind of will get you pumped up for this.
There's a peculiar kind of confidence that doesn't announce itself. It glows quietly in the background. Before the sun breaks, before the adrenaline swells, it's in you. And you, and you, and you.
The road ahead begins to call. I feel the pressure in my chest. Every doubt can start to fall as I fight to be my best.
It's not the scale of achievement that makes it remarkable, but the way it comes to life. Early mornings, outstretched hands, person to person. In the Tri-Cities, it grows in shared effort. Neighbors, friends, and new acquaintances. Reaching out, lifting up. There is a difference here, a strength that exists in collective motion, a confidence that comes from showing up. Born in the shared experience of pushing limits together. And when you feel that sense of belonging, you'll know it's in you, and you, and you, and you. The Cuisine Solutions Ironman 70.3 Washington Tri-Cities. It's in you.
It's in you.
love the platform that this gives us to showcase our area and who we are and what it's all about. So that's some of the Ironman stuff. Just some real basic tips as you're getting ready for this year. Think about this, become familiar with the event, understand what's going on so that you can share that with your sphere of influence. If you've got a business and you want to learn about how to interact with it, we've got an Ironman Ready Business Workshop August 19th. There's flyers here, so you can scan that and get registered for that. It's free as well. Spread the word to your sphere of influence and then join in the activities and get involved. I always like to say people that get involved get inspired. And so come and be a part of it and you'll be inspired by what goes on down there. That's what we've got for the presentation, Carl. What's our got?
Carl said he wanted an Ironman event every day, and I was just thinking, like, while we're here, especially if Kevin, we can just give you and your team some more work to do.
Yeah.
Go down and LIGO should have a STEM instead of man, we should call it STEM person. STEM person. And it could be a STEM. I don't know. It would be some type of STEM competition, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm only halfway joking because I think that to your point, I mean, we've gone to LIGO and we're even working on bringing our board out because I don't feel like other than those 5,000 K-12 kids over here that the locals know you guys are what you do.
It's an amazing thing. We have had outreach since we were in construction trailers in 1998. So we have had outreach people. We've been bringing people in for public tours and the K-12, and we go into schools and we go out to the public. And still, I regularly get asked, what do you do for work? And I mentioned LIGO, and they have no idea and don't know that this exists in our backyard, right? We have a Nobel Prize winning facility right here, and most of us don't know it's there. So I agree. It's amazing how hard we work at being known, but yet it can be a little bit of a niche group that we exist out there. So.
Just thinking out loud, I mean, on this whole theme of events and pull people in and stuff, I mean, I wonder if there would be, or even something that you could do with your peer site in Louisiana or something like that. I have no idea what it would be, but just something to pull people over, especially from the west side, that they don't even know, where we're at in a lot of ways. But.
Yeah, we're always looking for little things like that to do. I don't know if anybody's a member of the Runners at the Sage group, but we do once a year Runners at the Sage. They get to run our arms, and so we both find local things to do. But it would be nice to find some kind of we do have STEM competitions that come to the area, the robotics competitions and things. And maybe there's a connection there that we can do and look for.
Actually, I mean, is there like an access road or something?
Yep, there's access roads on both of our arms.
At least a mile each way.
2.5 miles.
2.5 miles each way.
Yeah, and so some people will walk, some people will run, some people go halfway there and back. We actually have an international teacher program every summer, and those teachers also tend to run the arms one morning. It's something that people really enjoy doing.
It's awesome.
So, yeah.
Just maybe can you go a little bit deeper for anybody that doesn't understand how you detect
sure.
Talk about your facility and kind of just basically how it works.
Yeah, so LIGO is a really big L. You got 2.5 miles one direction, 2.5 miles the other direction. Gravitational waves themselves are ripples in space and time. So we don't think about the fact that space can stretch and squash, but it can. And so can time. Actually, time is not a fixed thing. So when things like black holes are swirling around each other, or neutron stars, or even the Earth going around the sun, we actually send ripples out in space-time. And that's happening regularly for anything accelerating in space. So when these ripples come through the Earth, you, me, anything, it stretches and squashes it. So the L allows us to look for that stretching and squashing. As a gravitational wave passes through that arm, or through the detector itself, one arm gets longer, one gets shorter, and they go back and forth. Now, when I say they get longer and shorter, we're talking a fraction the size of a single proton. So you have a 2.5 mile long arm with something that shifts a fraction the size of a proton. It's an exceedingly small measurement to make. So we have a lot of world experts in how do you get rid of that free noise source from a car driving by on 240 to quantum vacuum fluctuations that we were talking about earlier. So there's a lot of different things that go into allowing that to happen. And there's actually a proposal in the United States for a bigger detector one day, in maybe 10 years, that would be 25 mile long arms. But that's the basics of what we're doing, is using a really big laser as a ruler to see if time and space stretch and squash.
That's great.
And the first time that happened, it detected was 2017.
2015, it was almost exactly 100 years after Einstein predicted they existed. LIGO Livingston in Louisiana received a signal, and 7 milliseconds later, we received a signal here. Those are the very first in the entire world to directly prove that this was a thing.
Pretty close. Well, and I think to that point, I know like P&L as an example is hosting part of Fusion Week. Fusion Week is this thing around fusion energy that's been hosted in like Seattle and Everett previously through a group out of on the west side that's sort of statewide. But this year, one day they're coming to P&L, and so again, STEM related things that can come in are also these events. I think that we have, and to your point that it's only $50 million a year, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows that in the president's budget this year, there were some proposed cuts, and we were excited to be able to, work with many others in the community to make sure that as the future budgets come out or now continuing resolution, LIGO is critically important to that. We feel strongly because TRIDEC lobbied hard to get LIGO here in the first place, back when it was built, and so we just appreciate the partnership. It's critically important. We are not going to let LIGO go.
We greatly appreciate the support. The last 2 years, it's been proposed 50% cut to LIGO. And LIGO, I say only from the point of view is we run on a very lean budget already. We are a very shoestring type organization and have always been. So any small cut is a big deal. A 50% cut would be devastating to staff and to just the science in general. We are the leading group in the world on gravitational wave science. And if you do a 50% cut, you lose that lead and we hand it over to other people. And so we greatly appreciate the support. And so far we've been successful in keeping us here and doing science that we're doing.
We all want to keep here. Yeah.
We want to stay.
Charles, I think I was going to ask about you guys have your food aspect of the lodge has changed. Can you give us an overview of what you got going on or what you've launched now?
Yeah. So the restaurant used to be called Drumhellers. Was one of the founders' names was Drumhellers, but we decided we wanted to create some kind of a real identity for the restaurant. So we changed the name to Riva, which is the Italian name for river. So we have an Italian cuisine. We bought an $18,000 pasta maker a few months ago that we use 3 times a week. So all the pasta that we sell is actually homemade. It definitely has shown that it was the right direction to go into. As you all know, if people go to a city or town, they normally do not go to a restaurant in a hotel. I had the same challenge with the previous hotel where I worked. People just go to the restaurants around the hotels, for example, entities. But our goal is really to bring more of the hotel guests into the restaurant, but maybe to bring more of the locals into Riva. We don't want to be the hotel restaurant that is just there for the anniversary, for birthday. We want people to come out once a month, once every 2 months, make it accessible, make sure there's a good service, make sure the food is good, but most importantly, make sure that it's accessible for everybody. So the pasta dishes are anywhere between $22 and $29 plates, which we think is very reasonable. So that was one of the commitments from the company that I work for, named Columbia Hospitality. They promised the owners, like, we're going to make sure the restaurant is going to be more accessible to the local community, make it part of the local community, and consequently, of course, provide better financial results. So it takes time. It takes a while. That doesn't happen overnight. It takes 6, maybe even 12 months. But we just want to make sure that people that want to experience the hotel and the restaurant are always welcome. And we are willing to work with any organization, any company to expose us to the local community.
That's great. So anybody watching or listening or here today, make sure you check out Riva.
Check out Riva.
Yeah.
We brought a fam tour to they showed off for us. It was really good. It was really good. We had some winemakers and some journalists and that all together, and it's a great. Thank you. It's great.
And then one more question for Tiffany. You mentioned the event center at Benton City, but can you talk about like what will be different about that facility versus like up into, I guess, your tasting room on Dallas Road? But like, how does that work? And then I think in general for wine industry, because I know, Kevin, you guys always talk about like there are people that go from West Side, Wall is kind of destination wine market. Like, how do we collectively get them off the highway? I'm thinking maybe Benton City is a good, right? There's the exit, you can get off right there. But like, how do we lure them in? And do we have other wineries or facilities that are really set up for that destination? Hey, I want to go drink some wine. I want to have some food. I want to have like this whole experience. Like, how does that work? And is your event center an example of that?
It is, and I'm gonna send
Okay.
you an itinerary.
That's
Because
great.
there's a lot of wineries in this area that are set up for that. I would
Okay.
say we're all set up for it.
Okay,
Yeah, if I could put cheerleader of the Tri-Cities, Benton City, Prosser area on my business card, I would. So the new event center specifically allows us to have events year round. So if you've been out to our tasting room location, which is off Dallas Road, it's beautiful. We have events outside May through October. But if anything kind of happens in that period of time, there's not an alternative to bring people in, or there wasn't. And so what happened was actually a couple of years ago, we hosted a family wedding. One of the owner's daughters got married at Goose Ridge, and we set up this beautiful barrel room, which is normally a production space for a wedding. And after that wedding, we started getting phone calls, emails. Can we have a wedding here? Well, we had already flipped it and turned it back to a production center. And so we continued to think about it, and we had the space to be able to move our production. So we opened up 2 barrel rooms, and they're now lined with all of our wine barrels, and allow us to be able to have events inside year round. Not only does it allow us to offer that space to guests that are coming in, so I talked to the meat processors too. So thanks for bringing them in. Yeah, I'm super excited if they come, but we'll have a lot of meat processors in the March of 2027. But it gives us a space to be able to host our markets that we have at the tasting room. And again, we can host now concerts inside, opportunity to continue to grow our space. And I think that's the most important thing. One of the things that I've heard is mentioning, Riva and asking people to come out is, and LIGO, and you said, hey, we're trying to bring our board out there, is we can't sustain our businesses purely off tourism. So I ask you to be a tourist in your own town and come out and see us. And I love to get out. I spent Saturday at the lodge and had a massage and dinner and drinks, and went out on the river and went paddling, and I'm planning to go out to LIGO. And if anyone is looking or interested in the wine industry and wants to come out and has questions about that, I would love to host you for a tour. I'd love to set up an itinerary, because we don't operate within a vacuum, and there's so many other businesses that we work with, including other wineries. So rising tides float all boats, and I'm happy to share some of my favorites too. That of course you're going to be going to Goose Ridge and it'll be a favorite, but I'll send you just some other favorites as well.
awesome, thank you. And I just want to know that I appreciate you talking about the positive things, because I think locally we hear a lot of challenges in the wine industry right now. I just want you to know, since I learned about it, I try to shame everybody that ever drinks White Claw.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, you can come out, we don't require you to drink anything with your pinky up or anything, and we have beer for those that don't have wine, cider, or spirits, but.
That's awesome. So we got some audience questions that we'll just go through pretty fast, and the first one's actually for Tiffany. How many people can fit in the new barrel room for an event?
We can fit up to 600 people in there.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
it'll be significant.
One of the real benefits of that, Carl, real quick, is just the convention groups love off-site breakouts.
Yeah.
And so you get a big convention group in, and then you have an off-site place like this. It's really unique. Yeah, totally.
That's the opportunity. So I almost shamed Woodinville. Woodinville is a beautiful place. I lived there for much of my life. And but if you look at these other tasting room satellite locations that many wineries have, they kind of act as gateway drugs. So they get to know us, right? They love us, and then we get to invite them out here. So now we have their names, their emails, their phone numbers, and we get to have that personal invitation to invite them out to the Tri-Cities, where kind of all the magic happens. And so that relationship is really terrific. And now we can host our own events, wine club events, wine dinners in those spaces.
That's right. Did we just get the tagline? The Tri-Cities where the magic happens.
Yeah, where the magic happens.
Kevin, when will the Currents to Kicks race signups open?
It was supposed to open up yesterday. I didn't see it. Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay. Thanks, Sam.
Registration opens Thursday.
Registration opens Thursday for Currents to Kicks.
Like to swim and run Thursdays a day, and then for Amber, how many field trips come through LIGO each school year, and what would be an appropriate age to bring kids to the LIGO facility?
We have field trips during the school year, 3 times a week typically. Like I said, 5,000 to 7,000 K-12 students total. We advocate for 4th grade and up. 4th grade has a lot of great waves in their curriculum, and so from 4th grade up is a great time for a field trip. We do have lots of people bring their families in for the open days. We're open Tuesday through Friday from 9:30 to 4 every day. And we have people come see the center who are much younger, and that we think is great. But for a field trip where you're going to be doing a tour in that 4th grade up.
That's great. We're running time. We did open it up for audience questions, but anybody that's here, obviously, will be here. If you have any direct questions, we'd be happy to get into it. But Kevin and all of our panelists, thanks for getting. I think you guys are a great representation of this cross section of our tourism industry, and I think really great discussion about how we all work together in this broader economic development. Really, thanks, Kevin, for breaking down how does it work in tourism? How does the business of tourism and destination marketing work? That's great. Thank you. So thanks everybody for coming today. Thanks everybody online.